Hello, welcome back to TCG Bulk Kings, and today we're going to talk about one of the pieces of big news that's come out in the last week or two. Serialized, numbered, limited print run Magic cards exist. And unless there's a huge backlash, which there hasn't been, these will continue to be made, and they will become more common, and they will be used probably as lottery type cards similar to Masterpiece series and box toppers in other types of sealed product. They're not only going to stay as surprise random drops inside secret layers. The demand for these things is just going to be too high not to include in other types of products. So, what will this do to the value of the other cards in these products? Namely, what about the bulk? We will have to do some speculation, some forward-looking statements, but hopefully we can make some educated type guesses with the understanding that they are inherently uncertain. First, it has been noted by others, but it bears repeating here, and hopefully we can do a little more in-depth discussion of why, but these will be difficult, if not impossible, to include in something like a standard draft booster box or a set booster display for a number of reasons. These types of products, they have multiple print runs, they're printed in multiple locations throughout the world, and they're printed in multiple languages. If Wizards were releasing a numbered item or series of numbered items in a standard set, they would have to take certain actions in order to assure that they're distributed evenly. Like if they print a 100 print run card like this Viscera Seer that's come out, but they were going to include it in a standard draft booster box, they would have to hold some back for future print runs because they're printed in multiple print runs. And if they didn't hold them back and they were only available in the first print run, then that would severely devalue the later boxes that come out, the second or third print runs, because there would be no chance of opening the serialized cards in those. We've seen what's happened with the Ikoria first edition versus later editions, just simply based on the fact that they changed the name of one of the Godzilla box toppers. Also, they would have to coordinate the distribution of these serialized cards into the various printing facilities around the world, so that one facility isn't favored over the others, because again, that would make a difference between the boxes that would be discernible, and so would increase value in ones produced, say, in Japan, and decrease ones produced by Cartamundi. Thirdly, they'd have to make a decision about languages. If they're doing a of 100 serialized card, are they doing 100 print runs in each language that they're producing the standard box in? Are they going to make language-specific serialized cards like the Japanese Alt-Art War of the Spark Planeswalkers and the Mystical Archives, or to a lesser extent those non-English pre-release promo cards from a long time ago? Kavu Furins, anyone? How then do they distribute them? If they have a serialized card that's only in traditional Chinese, do they only include them in Chinese boxes? Do they include them in all boxes? How do they really want to manage all that? All these things, I think, are barriers to them choosing to distribute these cards in that way. So it's relatively unlikely they'll be in a standard mass-produced product like that. However, there are other large print run products they could end up in. They could be in any type of product that has a single print run. I believe collector boosters are still a single print run. I could be wrong on that. There are also specialty sets that could be treated as single print runs, like Jumpstart, mystery boosters, master sets or remaster sets could all be single print run if they choose to do so. They could be surprise drops in Commander releases. I could see an extremely rare, like 1 of 5 version of Commanders being randomly dropped inside Commander packages. Not very likely, but it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility. At least not much further than being randomly included in secret layer drops. Single print run products like this have the virtue of solving all the problems we talked about earlier. They also tend to be printed at only a single location. Again, I could be wrong about that, but that would simplify the addition of a limited run series into a product like that. And they tend to only be in one language as well. Again, further simplifying that. So at some point, Wizards are going to try this. It's nearly inevitable. It may be relatively unlikely that they will do so for any particular set, but they almost certainly will for some set. Not likely an Innistrad double feature, but probably in some large single print run set in the next 2 years. So the big question is, what effect, if any, will this have on the bulk from whatever that set is? It's hard to say, as we don't really have any precedent, but we do have pseudo precedents. First, I want to talk about Battle for Zendikar, the first set with masterpieces. Prices plummeted, stayed low for years for everything but a couple of key cards. It was opened massively. Bulk was abundant, bulk remains abundant, but after 6 years, the prices on a lot of those bulk cards have rebounded. There are a lot of commons and uncommons that are in that bulk plus status. You know, the 40, 50, 60, 75 cent cards. There's a couple even over $1. But it's still extremely plentiful. Note that this, though, was a print-to-demand set, not a single print run set. We can look at some of the other prior specialty sets, like Battle Bond or Conspiracy Take the Crown. These were lower print run sets, but still print-to-demand. They had chase cards in them, but not anything like Masterpiece series cards. The closest being like the Kaya Ghost foil from Conspiracy 2. But that's way more plentiful than a out of 100 or even an out of 1,000 would be. Bulk from these sets is less common just simply because of the lower print run, but it's relatively high value as there are a lot of great reprints and uniquely flavorful items in these at the common and uncommon level. Now there's some of the other specialty sets like Mystery Boosters, Jumpstart, Unsets, Double Masters, VIP packs are intriguing in this space to me. My best bet on where they would drop something like these would be a set like this, something like Mystery Booster test cards in the Convention Edition, or the high-end cards from the Double Master VIP packs. If you look at foil prices from Double Masters, for instance, we can see, not talking about the high-end foils, but the bulk foils of the basic regular card frame, those kinds of cards. We can see that foil premium on those regular printing cards is minuscule. Barely, they're almost the same price, a few cents higher. The VIP packs had foils in all the common and uncommon slots in the pack, significantly increasing the supply of all these that were open. If they do something like this, with VIP packs alongside a larger set, like something above and beyond a collector's booster, then I would expect a similar effect. Whatever bulk is included in those packs is going to be squashed in price because there's going to be a massive amount of it open when people are chasing these serialized cards. Jumpstart, despite its supply issues, has been opened a lot, and there are a good amount of uncommon rarity cards north of $1, and there definitely were plenty of high-end chase cards in that set. But the set is really weirdly distributed in the box, so it's difficult to calculate effects of this nature. So it's good going forward to keep an eye out for how it is that Wizards are going to distribute these serialized cards. They aren't likely to drop them into a continuously printed to demand standard set. So the set that they would drop them into is more likely going to have a lower print run, and the cards in the uncommon and common slot are either going to be foil or they're more likely to be higher end reprints to fill out the reprint equity in that set. There will likely be a large amount of bulk from these sets floating around as people open the product to chase those cards, and so it may be possible to pick up a good amount of unplayed, pack fresh bulk full of bulk plus cards. Sure, Goblin Lore from Jumpstart isn't worth more than $1, but it's worth a lot more than the fraction of a penny that bulk typically costs. So I'm interested in your opinions on this. If you have any comments or questions or ideas or anything at all, feel free to leave a comment below. Subscribe if you want more content like this. If you have any feedback, feel free to let me know. Thanks.